So you've probably clicked on this video because you're kind of fed up with the way Critical Ops is going. Yeah, it's a great game and it performs really well, but how can we make the game better? How can we improve the game and how can we bring it back to the state it was at a few years ago, right? It was thriving a couple years ago, but right now it's just kind of seen a decline. And we know we've seen lots of competitors in the market like PUBG Mobile, like Call of Duty Mobile come in, but how can we specifically bring back Critical Ops? Because I know a lot of you here are subscribed just to see Critical Ops, but you really haven't seen much out of it, right? So I'm here to talk about that today. So let's just dive right into it. Number one, Critical Ops really needs to bring the community right back into the scene and help the community get involved. By that, I mean community skins, not just influencer skins, as well as having community develop maps and having a trading marketplace for these skins, right? The community really is involved with Critical Ops, and we know that because there's still tons of content creators getting tons of views, and there's a lot of people who are really involved in it and want to see more Critical Ops from all their content creators and their favorite YouTubers, right? But the game really isn't that good for the community. There's not much involvement with it, and I know the developers do a lot of these community live streams from time to time, but at the end of the day, it's just really not much involvement from the developers. They say, here's what's going on, but they don't take that feedback really, and they don't really make changes based on what the community says. They're trying to target the casual community, which is something that I've seen is not the best for the game, because as it stands right now, you can see there's tons of things within the game that are really meant for the casual player, but aren't really meant to help the community grow in general, right? There's lots of players in the community who play the game maybe once or twice and then don't really touch the game after that, but then there's a lot of players who really play this game on a daily basis who really want to see this game flourish, and I don't think Critical Ops is taking their word into account. Those players who've been playing for 3, 4, 5 years are now transitioning to other games such as PUBG Mobile, such as Call of Duty Mobile, right? These games are becoming huge, and because of Critical Ops' lack of really involvement with the community, with the transparency from the developers to the community, it shows that Critical Ops or the Critical Force doesn't really necessarily care about the community's opinion, which is something that I don't really like. And when I'm talking about community skins, I mean having the community actually make skins. There's been lots of mock-ups I've seen before in the past where people will make a skin, draw it up on Twitter and say, hey, I really wish this was in the game. You know, I wish we could have this implemented within Critical Ops. That'd be really cool. Maybe give a portion of it to the content, or to give it to whoever made it, right? It's not just the content creators. I know there's a skin, obviously the Palin skin, the Rooks Thunderhawk skin. I make a lot of, jokes out of that, and then the Joker Anarchy skin as well. But really, that's it, right? Those are the only 3 skins. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's someone I didn't cover, I forgot to cover. I'm sorry who it is, but I think there's one more. But really, to be honest, those are the only 3 skins that have come not from the developers, and I think that's a problem because as you've seen, Critical Ops really follows CSGO. Everyone knows that. It's a very similar format to the game. The game itself is very similar. And the marketplace for CSGO is something that really defined it apart from another game, right? All the other games in its market, none of those games did that, those cosmetic things. Critical Ops is not a pay-to-win game at all. It's a pay-to-look-good game, right? It's a pay-to-cosmetic game, and that's what Standoff 2 does really well. I know a lot of you want to see Standoff 2 on this channel, but Standoff 2 has a really good marketplace for trading, and that enables people to have a community sense of involvement within the game. At the current moment, Critical Ops, you just buy the skin on your own. You have no transaction with any other human being right there. You just see a case getting opened, or you buy it with the blue credits or the gold credits that you buy from the kit store. It seems like a very business purchase oriented thing, whereas when you have a marketplace, you're getting other people seemingly involved within this decision making, and you're getting other people that maybe haven't seen the skin before. It just leads to more discoveries, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff within the community aspect that Critical Ops needs to change, and I'm saying for revenue perspective, this really would help, because if you have community skins coming in, it's gonna force, or it's gonna allow developers to not work necessarily 100% on their developer skins. I know they're working on tons of other things like the new maps and new game modes and whatnot, and sniper events and cool things that they're working on. But once again, the community can take a big burden off of the skins part by, if you let the community make these skins on their own and help it implement it into the game, someone's work will be immortalized within the game. There's gonna be more skins, there's gonna be more trading if that's a feature, and there's gonna allow for more people to interact with one another. So that's something that I really think Critical Ops should focus on. And that kind of segues right into the second point, which is creating incentives for improvement and actually, getting sponsors from within the game. So I know a lot of people might think, how is that really segue? But incentives for improvement is the fact that when you go into the Critical Ops menu, you see all the game modes, right? It's diffuse, it's casual, it's TDM, right? Diffuse, and then there's an event, and then there's ranked at the end. Out of all those things, I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that I watch, or that people that watch me, play ranked the most, right? You want to say, oh, can I rank with you? Can I add you so we can play ranked together? That's what every comment is. No one's saying, can I play diffuse with you? No one's saying, can I play TDM with you, right? That's kind of like a thing people use for warm up, but the purpose of the game is mainly to get better at the game and have improvements within the ranked, right? But at the current moment, what do you get if you're good at ranked? You get that Elite Ops tag, and that's it. You don't even get credits for being good. You don't get anything. I mean, I guess you could upload some videos and then you would have some fame there, but at the current moment, there's really no incentive for getting good, and that's something that Critical Ops needs to fix, and that's where bringing in sponsors from the outside can come in. I know Critical Ops has told me before, I've said, hey, Critical Ops, you should do this to fix your game or to improve it, and they say, well, look at the scale of other games, right? I mentioned PUBG Mobile, I mentioned Call of Duty Mobile and what they're doing to really improve their game, and they say, hey, well, we're a smaller company. I understand you're a smaller company, so outsource that decision making and outsource that financial burden to another company. Get some sponsors involved, and then you can help people improve in the game and help drive incentives for people to actually get better at the game. At the current moment, ranked is really just like that's like the only content really people can make, right? If you see Twist, if you see Roogs, I guess Roogs does funny moments, but me and Twist, a lot of the time, Silent, there's a lot of people who do these scrims, right? But scrims are something that the community made up, right? The developers aren't really supporting that. And so if developers were to support something like that, we could see it thrive within the game, right? If developers had a lot of say within these, tournaments or within these, but there's not even tournaments. I'll get to that soon. But within the game, there's a lot of stuff that the developers don't really support. And I really think that we could drive more motivation to get better at the game and to have a lot more competition in these top teams if developers supported that, right? So if they create incentives, maybe a leadership ranking where the top person gets like $1,000 a month or something like that. I know it's a lot of money, right? It doesn't have to be exactly that, you know what I mean? But incentives, just driving incentives to actually get better at the game, because at the current moment, it'd be a better environment. At the current moment, you see when people playing ranked, there's not much drive to improve. It's just a lot of people playing it for fun. Oftentimes people troll, and that just leaves a bad experience for everyone else. So if you actually have an incentive to get better at the game and to, have like a maybe top place ranked Elite Ops, maybe, top 10 Elite Ops, get some actual cash prizes, and like maybe the best Spec Ops person or something like that. Just some rewards to get better at the game. And I know it's a little far-fetched off, but putting in sponsors, having sponsors come in from the outside to help with this financial aid, and maybe, you have like a sponsor logo on the thing. I know they have ENCE.gg. I don't know if you guys watch CSGO, but ENCE is a CSGO team. They're an eSports org. They have other teams as well, but they're most known for their CSGO team. They have that in the map of Heat. When you play, that warm-up map, there's a little banner thing I saw when I was playing today. So that's something that they do support, I guess. It is a Finnish game studio, so obviously they're gonna try and support their Finnish brethren, but you know what I mean. Bringing in sponsors from the outside to actually help support the growth of the game is something that really needs to be happening, because the developers are always saying, we're not that same size, so we can't do that. So that'd be a solution to that. And then my final solution would be to support and build up the esports scene. We all remember the Amazon Masters LAN tournament, the Mobile Masters LAN tournament that I casted the group stage. If you didn't watch it, gotta go check it out right now. But it was a while ago. It was in June of 2018, and since then we have never had a LAN. Never had a LAN. Maybe there was in Finland, right? But there's never been a global LAN that has been viewed as widely as there was. I think there was a LAN in Finland. But outside of that, really, there's nothing much. And they debuted the Spectator client in June of 2018. It was phenomenal. I love that thing to death. It is a great Spectator platform. And I don't think you know how many times I've asked them. I'm a caster, right? If you've been around on my channel, you know that I'm a caster and I like to commentate over video games. I like to speak over them, bring you a good audience experience, right? And within that, nothing, right? I've asked them over 10 times. Every single time I've gotten denied, some security reason. I understand that maybe it's some, the software's not up to date or something, but come on, it's been over a year since they've done that. And without the support for the esports scene, let alone that small Spectator client, we can have support for tournaments. I've casted tournaments, almost all my tournaments actually, other than the Team Liquid and the Mobile Masters, all of my tournaments have had just the normal Spectator client. And that's something we can do. But you can see now, the current moment, they tried to do that with the community tournaments, but they're giving out credits. no one really wants to pay for credits because, like I said, it goes back to point one, everyone already has all the skins in the game. If you allow content creators to make their own skins, if you allow people who want to make skins, make their skins and put them in the game, you don't have to have that burden of constantly making new skins and constantly having people buy those skins to make money, right? That's really the only way Critical Ops makes money right now. People buying credits to buy skins. And I said something before where they can make another way of making money, which is adding more like friend slots. $1 is like 10 friend slots. I would totally buy $10 or $20 of that because I only have 50 friend slots available, and a lot of my subscribers want to play with me, and a lot of pros, who are really good, maybe they're not pros because they don't get paid to play the game, but a lot of people who are really good, I want to play with them and they want to play with me, but there's not enough friend slots there, so that could be a way for Critical Ops to earn money. But back to the point of esports, it was thriving in 2018, right? It's 2019, nearing the end of 2019, and we haven't seen anything other than the Team Liquid tournament that I casted, and that a lot of people helped me produce. There really hasn't been much. You guys haven't seen many tournaments from me, many scrims from me, and that's just because the devs don't support that. So if they were able to support that and help drive that, I know a LAN is a lot of money, right? It just takes a lot of production time. You have to hire staff, you have to hire marketing people, you have to hire tournament admins, you have to hire graphic design people, business people to help run the whole thing. It's a lot of money, right? But it does drive growth to the game in a long-term sense. It is a short-term detriment. It is a short-term expense and a huge loss in the short term, but in the long term, it drives a lot of growth. And we saw over 10,000 people watched Mobile Masters when it happened, the grand finals. Over 3,000 people watched the group stage on my channel when that happened. And yet we have not been able to replicate or duplicate anything since because we haven't had the spectator client, we haven't had in-game support from the developers. There's just been nothing from the developers. I've talked to Wadi before, but there's been nothing. He told me that there's gonna be some plans for, creating new tournaments and stuff. I haven't seen any of that in 2019, really. The only thing that they do much for tournaments is they'll tweet it out once in a while, right? So there's just very little support coming from the developers on the side of actually helping grow this esports scene up, and I know a ton of people want to play. But the thing is, you've seen all those people. It might even be too late at this point, but they can try because so many of these COPS pros who played before, they are now over to Call of Duty Mobile. They're over to PUBG Mobile. They transitioned. They were done with the esports scene because they saw it wasn't growing. And I don't know if Critical Force just didn't react or they didn't care because they're catering to their casual community, which is completely fine, but in the long run, it's not gonna build growth because casual players aren't gonna spend a lot of money on the game. It's gonna be those hardcore players who are dedicated to the game, who wanna see it grow and wanna see it expand and wanna see the esports of it flourish, because that's really the pinnacle of most games at this point. When you see CSGO, when you see League of Legends, when you see Dota 2, when you see Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege, all these top tier, PUBG, whatever you want to say, PUBG Mobile even, tons of these esports, that is when it's the pinnacle, when the game is being played at a professional level, when people are watching, millions of people are watching this game, like, on a monthly, annually basis to actually see the best players compete in it. That's when a game has succeeded, and we haven't seen that from Critical Force. So I'm asking really, or I'm saying to Critical Force, you can really help this game by allowing people, this is just kind of a recap, but allowing people to actually make skins within the game and helping involve them and having a marketplace so that they can actually interact with one another. Because as it stands, there's very little interaction other than playing the actual game with people, and that's something that really detriments from it. It did add like friends chat and party chat and stuff like that, but it's kind of a clunky system still, right? You can't do voice chat, you can't do group chats really, other than like your party chat and your clan chat, and you can't really talk with everyone. It's just kind of a weird way to talk. So the social interaction is kind of low, which I think pushes a lot of people away from it, as well as the fact that there's a ton of people who still want to improve at the game, but there's not really incentive to improve. Pardon me there, that was kind of rough. But like I was saying, incentives to improve ties right into the esports scene. Critical Ops should really bring in sponsors from the outside to help run this esports scene and maybe drive just 1 or 2 LANs a year. I think 1 LAN a year would be phenomenal. It would give so many teams something to work for and just have a huge prize pool, right? Maybe a $250,000 prize pool once a year LAN, or something like that, or even the smaller LANs like 50,000 and you have 3 LANs over the course of a year, right? Something like that where you don't have to invest as much money, but you have it frequently, and just having people physically go there and you can see the people behind the screen that are playing the game, having a personality to the game, it attaches people and it makes people really want to watch the game. And that's what I'm thinking Critical Ops should do. If you do agree with me, let me know down below. I'm trying to see if the devs will actually see this, because there's a high likelihood that they will never see it. And if they do see it, they'll probably be like, whatever. But you know, I've been a really big supporter of Critical for 3, almost 4 years at this point. I've played the game since it came out, you know, because my account ID is 88790. It is 5 digits, guys. Go check your account ID and see how many digits it is. That will tell you how OG I am in this game. I created my account so early, and I have the Coolmark tag. Like, no one really has that, right? So I've been a huge supporter of this game. I've said this multiple times, but at a certain point, if Critical Ops really can't improve, they're gonna be seeing their top content creators go. They're gonna be seeing Twist go, they're gonna be seeing Lugs go, they're gonna be seeing Elsema go, they're gonna be seeing Silence go. All these different creators who have been really supportive of the game are probably gonna leave eventually if they don't see support for the game from the developers. And the developers just making these new maps, making these new, you know, skins and stuff, people don't really wanna see that at this point because they wanna see that come from the community, like I said. So let me know what you think about this. I know it was a long video, kind of a rant, but hopefully you did enjoy it. Hopefully you took something away, and hopefully we can band together to actually help Critical Ops improve, because I really like the game. The game runs well right now. It's a good game, but it's just not supported well by the developers, and they're not doing a great job of, you know, improving the game and making it better. If they have statistics, I'm sure they have statistics to prove me wrong, but it just doesn't feel like it's growing. And so that's the biggest thing. It doesn't feel like it's growing. I don't really see the growth. And if they have numbers to prove it, please message me on Twitter, send me an email, whatever you want to do, but I just don't feel like it's growing. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment if you did agree, if you didn't agree, whatever, don't like it, you know, unsubscribe, dislike it, say that I don't agree and this is why, but whatever. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was a long video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll try and bring more content like this in the future. I got a nice camera, so we'll be seeing good content. Thank you all. See you in the next video. Peace out.